Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? I am out here heading over to Fish Hawk Preserve real quick for a jaunt with my dog. Going out with my dog today. But I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what I'm looking at as like it's a plague among, I'm gonna say especially women business owners, probably more than men, but definitely minority, well, not just minority, that's not fair. Women business owners. And I think it has to do with that whole Mars versus Venus thing. And here's the thing, I tell people all the time that I'm like a legit tomboy. Like, don't let the nails and the lashes fool you. I am a legit tomboy. And so I was very much raised up thinking in, you know, more masculine, male dominant types of ways, so even in regards to how I think about business and all of that other stuff is more of a very masculine way of thinking. Um, and so that and historically I have worked with men, quite a bit of men. Anytime I was doing most of my sales coaching with large companies, you know, 80% of my audience was male. And so it's interesting now to, to see how many women struggle in entrepreneurship, but also recognize that there are some very um feminine ways of thinking. I know none of this shit that I'm saying is popular. Like women like, no, she didn't. Honey, there is a Mars versus Venus. It is different. Women do think differently. Women do act differently. They do decide differently. They do make behave. They do make all of that differently. It might come from the same source, right? We all might be leveraging, obviously, that emotional center of our brain to make a decision. But historically, the way that women think and the way that men think and the way that we behave and act and make decisions is quite different. And and it's funny because, and so I'm gonna actually share on here 3 things to help you, maybe 4 things to help you in your business so that you are not running into some of the struggles that truly plague women in business. And I'm also going to tell you why some of those things that you're doing that are causing your struggle to perpetuate the struggle. So none of the shit that I'm gonna say on here today is gonna be very popular with the women. I honestly don't give a shit. Um, there are women that are gonna hear this and they're gonna be like, you know what, I accept that. Great, right? Because I listen, it took a long time for me to accept the fact that, you know, I have this more masculine way of thinking. I was like, what? What the hell, right? It took a while for me to accept that, but then once I did it, I was like, oh, okay, right? And it's why one of the reasons that I was able to really succeed in these male dominated worlds is because I was able to leverage a feminine way of behaving with a masculine way of thinking, which gave me this hybrid of action that really helped me build a $250 million business, right? It's how I built that tech company in such a male dominated world. When I say male dominated, they didn't even know where the men's room, the ladies' room was half the time I walked into a building. Um, now, does that mean that I'm going to teach women how to be more masculine? Absolutely not. What I am going to show you, though, are some of the tips, tricks, and secrets that you can use in your women's based business to be a total badass. And some of the shit that you're doing, thinking, hearing, and seeing that you're believing, that's actually kicking your ass big time, big time. So let's start with so let's start with the first, the 3 challenges first, and I put them in the title, right? There is this myth that if I want to drive more sales, I have to do more networking, I have to do more marketing, right? I have to get on stages, I have to do more presentation skills. Sales and marketing are not the same. Those activities will drive you more leads. But if you do not know how to sell, you will have a bunch of opportunities that you cannot close. Men conversely start at the end where women start at the beginning. Women start with, I need a logo, I need pretty colors, I need pretty pictures, I need great copy, I need great marketing, I need to get my social media up. They start on that end, and that's where they start, and then they get to the part where they get the opportunity and they can't take advantage of it, right? It's the same thing that we've seen historically in you want to get out? It's the same thing that we've seen historically in, and this is science. Listen, this is science. This is not opinion, right? So people are like, I can't believe that. It's not my opinion. It's the same thing that we've seen historically in business, where women will wait until they are completely overqualified for a position, and then they will go for it. They'll put all these things in place first and then go for a position. Men, conversely, go for the position and then they start putting things in place, right? Men will learn how to sell even if they don't have a product to sell. Men will learn how to sell, then they will figure out how to market, and then they'll figure out what is my area of expertise. They will mess around in a whole bunch of different areas. Hold on, come here, babe. It's too loud. They will mess around in a whole bunch of areas and then figure out their expertise. They'll put their logo last. You will see some of the most busted ass landing pages from men. I mean, busted, but they're driving them revenue all the time. Why? Because they figured out how to sell first. Like, that was the very first thing that they figured out how to do. When I talk to men who are CEOs and executives, and I've talked to them, a ton of them, from Starbucks, Amazon executives, Starbucks executives, Microsoft executives, American Airlines, Abbott Pharmaceuticals. And when I've talked to those men who are in power positions, like they are making the decision in regards to the direction of the company, they have all, and I don't mean some of them, I actually went down the list. They have all talked about the same thing, especially if they were founders, how they had to go out and sell, and how they had to hustle and know how to sell their ass off in order to get their business to be busting. And so women, and this is what I'm finding when I'm talking to women, especially lately, is I'm hearing a lot of, well, I'm not comfortable with selling. I don't like selling. It doesn't make me feel good. And so they're not going to do things that don't make them feel good. And because of that, they have set up sales as this big, hairy, hideous monster that is out there. And because they've done that, their business is struggling like crazy, and they won't admit it. And that's fine. You ain't got to admit it to me. I really don't give a shit. I already know. I already know. I can listen. Chanel and I can read tea leaves like nobody's business. We can tell when people's business is struggling without them saying anything. We can tell by some of the things that you invest in. When someone tells me that they're going to invest $1,000 help on to get help on something because they want $1 million business, and I'm like, no, anybody worth their salt, no, you're not going to invest $1,000 to get $1 million. It doesn't work like that. Now, if you said, yeah, I'm investing, $50,000 to $100,000 because I want to get $1 million, bet I see that every day. But when you roll up with some bullshit of, I'm investing $1,000 here and $2,500 there and $1,500 there, you're not trying to get to $1 million business. What you've done is you fudge some numbers and make it look like you got a $500,000 business, when quite honestly, you're probably only making about 100 to 200,000, right? But who am I to act like I have any business knowledge or sense, or that I've actually done this for a while? So let's talk about, so way back up. What's up? My name is Donna St. Louis. I am co-founder of firesavvy.net. My co-founder is Chanel Evans. And if you look at the two of us, Chanel is the person who is going to help integrate massive ideas and get them working. She's the person that's going to sit on the couch and drink wine with you and have a conversation with you and help you ensure that you're taking action. I am the person who's probably going to kick your ass a little bit and explain to you why your mindset is screwing you over and help you come up with these amazing ideas, help you see your potential, and then push you hard towards reaching that potential. That's my job. 100% my job. Right. So my job is all about your offers, right? How you're making those offers make money, how you price, right? Is your pricing up? Are you negotiating? Are you sales? Right. I am that hard skill person that is solidifying your future. Chanel is making yourself towards that future. All right. Said I'm going on a tangent while I'm driving down the street. Let's talk about the three things. Three things. Well, actually four, but we'll start with three. Three things. Number one, first thing that's messed up is your messaging. The reason that you are struggling does not have to do with marketing and all. You can pay 800 marketing people all the money you want in the world. Your messaging is busted, right? And so I can tell you, first and foremost, the first thing you're going to need to correct is your messaging. And what do I mean by that? I saw this little girl, and I'm going to call her a little girl. I don't even care if she's a grown-ass woman, because the shit that she put online the other day, I'm like, she knew. She got to be new to the game. She's never been in business before. She straight up put this thing out there like, you don't have to have a niche. Girl, shut up. Go sit down. Go sit down. You do. You do need a niche. If you want to make money, you need a niche. Your name needs to be synonymous with something, right? Hold on a second. I'm just checking my messages here. All right, cool. Seeing it. Nope. Yep. Okay. You can hear me. Cool. All right. Okay. So let's start with the first thing. Babe, I need you to sit. You definitely 100%, no questions asked, need to be crystal, and I mean crystal clear on your messaging. If your messaging is all over the place, if I talk to you and I ask you what you do and you start telling me all these things and it's way too comma-y, as my co-founder likes to say, then I don't know what you do at all. And what I'm not going to do is hire you to do it. Period. The end. Baby, sit down. Right. So we got to start there. You got to have your messaging on point. When you look at Barbara Corcoran, what is she known for? Real estate. She's known for really high value, high dollar real estate. When you look at Shonda Rhimes, here you got somebody who is in a very male dominated industry. What did she do? She cut out a niche by saying, I'm going to put Black women and minority women who do not have historically white features at the forefront as the leading women, not the sidekick, as leading women. And I'm going to have them crush it. She's done it consistently. Right. She'll tell you straight up, you have to go into an industry and you have to cut out your own path. You have to cut out a niche. She's very clear about that. Then you have Rihanna, right? Okay, and everybody's like, well, she was already famous. No, there's a lot of famous people that have started beauty brands that did not become billionaires, right? Rihanna said, I want beauty for everybody. She dared to do something like a Victoria's Secret Angels, type of fashion show, and used all different shapes of bodies and colors of bodies, and people who had scars and is it called melasma? I feel like that's not the right name, but let's go with yeah, that had melasma and all these other things. It wasn't melasma, but anyway, vitiligo. So she got all these people, and they were from all shapes and walks of life, because she said, I believe in beauty for everybody. And she will tell you straight up, you have to go into a niche You have to carve out your own niche. So the first thing you need to do is you have a single message for a single audience, delivering a single result. That is that low-hanging fruit. That's the first thing you got to do. So start with your message. This is not marketing. Like, this is not something you're like, oh, I got to put a whole bunch of money into it. By the way, none of this matters if when you get on the phone, you can't sell shit. And the first part of sales is being able to state what you do clearly, who you do it for, and what the results, why they want it. That's number one. Number two, so if you want more comments in your bank account, number one, then you got to take them out of your expertise. You have to take them out of your expertise. Number two, if you stop selling the process. When I listen to people talk about what they do, they sell this whole process. What do we do at Fire Savvy? We're very clear. We want you to have a badass offer, and we want you to put that offer in front of a target rich audience, and we want to give you the skills to sell it. Offer, audience, sales. This all works in the same. And what does that come down to? We want you to make a hell of a lot more money in your business. That's why our clients 2 and 3x their business in a year, all the time, right? Yeah, I have 3 things: great offer, great audience, and the skills to sell it. Most of y'all got great marketing, you network like crazy, and you're crushing it on social. But your offer is busted, you don't know who the hell you're talking to, and you can't sell. You got to have all 3 of these. So that's number 2. Number 2 is stop selling the process. Stop telling me all the ways. Oh, and so then the first thing we're going to do is this, and then we're going to do that. And by the process of, stop selling your damn process. Nobody wants more treadmilling. Nobody wants more sit-upping. No one wants more squatting. Nobody even really wants the 75 hard. You know what they want? They want that ass and those jeans. That's what they want. That ass and those jeans. Period, the end. So stop selling the process. That ass, those jeans. What do? I help women make a shit ton of money a hell of a lot faster by enrolling clients into their program. I help women enroll clients into their program effortlessly. I work with women who want to have a badass offer to sell. They want a badass audience to sell it to, and they want to roll those badass audience members into their badass offer effortlessly. It sells every day. That's what I do. Offer, audience, sales. You got to be crystal clear on what you do and who you do it for. And you're like, but you work with men. I do. That's why I have different messages on LinkedIn. My messages for LinkedIn are very corporate. My messages on Facebook are very women's focused. Instagram, women's focused. Corporate. It's a different audience, right? All right. Number 3. So make sure you lay down what exactly is your big viral promise in a way that is succinct, and stop selling the process. No one cares about your process. They care about your results. And they care about your results that are going to make them win. So for us, we're like, you want to convert more. Let us show you how to have higher conversions without having itchy, cringy sales due to sales. Let's not do that. Let's make this effortless so it feels good to you. Number 3, stop making offers to people who aren't qualified. If you have not qualified that client, you should not be making an offer. So from now on, only make pre-qualified offers. What do I mean by that? This means that you have literally made sure that they have the time to commit, they are willing to put in the effort, and they can invest in the level of offer that you think that they need in order to help their business. Stop making, literally somebody calls and says, hey, I really love what you do. Can you give me some information? And y'all start selling your ass off. This is equivalent to somebody saying, oh my God, I think you're pretty. And you're like, you want to get married? You want to go home with me? You think I'm pretty? You want to go home? stop. The hell? You're not wow. You gotta qualify them first. Just because they said you're pretty doesn't mean they're interested. People tell me all the time, "Ooh, Don, I really love your sales academy. I love all your stuff." That doesn't mean they want to know how to sell. Hey, I only recently learned that just because somebody said that they're struggling with sales doesn't mean that they want to learn how to sell. They might really enjoy the struggle. I only just learned that. That blew me away. Like when I say just, I mean within the past 48 hours. Within the past 48 hours, I talked to a friend of mine last night. He is an 89-year-old God, I always get the name wrong, but it's basically like he's I think they call it organizational psychologist, but I feel like the word organizational isn't right. But basically he works in companies and he works specifically with their marketing teams. And he's been doing this for like 60 years. And specifically what he does with those teams is he looks at how men versus women think and all this other stuff and communicate. And I was telling him about this lady who had like 135 leads and she literally sold zero. So she got all these opportunities. This could have been her 7-figure year and she got zero. She closed zero people. And so I told her, I'm like, girl, let me give you the coupon code so you can come to the Sales Superstar Academy and you won't have that, especially because you have another speaking engagement coming up. And she said, oh, no, I spent $5,000 on Canva to figure out how to make ebooks. What? You did what? Listen, the level of confusion I had in that moment was overwhelming. But what I learned was she did not want to know. She didn't want a solution to her problem. She just wanted to talk about it. So yeah, again, remember I told you at the beginning, I think like a man. So if you tell me you got a problem, I want to solve it. Right? I'm like, you got a problem, let's fix it. This is why I'm a coach. Because I want to fix your shit. I want to make sure it's working. I want you to be a superstar. You got a hole in the wall, let's go get some plaster. Nah. She just wanted to talk about it. I was confused. I'm not gonna lie. I was confused, but then I had to go back and eat my own dog food and say, you know what? I never even qualified her. I assumed that because she had that problem, she wanted a solution. I was wrong. What she wanted to do was have a conversation. She just wanted to say that she failed. Like me personally, I don't want to fail like that again. I'm not going to do that twice. Fuck. I'm going to go take a class. But again, I guess that's why I can build. I can build 7 figures in 7 months. Anyway, that one still, I gotta tell you honestly, that one still kicks my ass. All right, number 4. So you pre-qualify her off. Number 4, pricing. I mean, the pricing fuckery that I see is so real. People are poofa. Pricing is poofa, pulled out of ass. That's what the pricing is. They haven't used a pricing strategy at all. They definitely haven't used a profit first strategy. I was talking to my co-founder Chanel the other day, and I had done some research. Do you know that women spend on average 47% of their revenue on networking? 47%. They will stay in a program because of community. They will Russell Brunson actually talks about this, how he has people that literally are in his program because of a t-shirt and that they pay regularly to stay in that program even though they don't attend anything. But this is what happens. Women, not men. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not saying men don't network. They don't spend 47% on it. So let me tell you what women do. So women spend 47% because they spend 22% on getting in rooms. They go into bad rooms, which have no clients, but they test out a lot. They kiss a lot of ugly frogs. Oh, look, my little finger came up. I like this one too. Anyway, they kiss a lot of ugly frogs before they even find the right room. So they spend a lot of money on bad rooms. Then they go into slow moving rooms where it takes like 9 months to get a client. Then they go in steady rooms. So steady rooms are going to get their leads are going to dry up fast, right? They're going to get leads, but they're going to dry up fast. And then they go into steady rooms, and those steady rooms are going to deliver to them 1 to 4 leads per quarter, right? So those are the 4 rooms that they network. But then what they do, so that's 22% of their dollars. 22% of their dollars is spent on that. Then there's the other 25% that they spend. The other 25% is, and when I say it, y'all gonna say, "Ooh, I do that." When somebody comes out of that room, or when you market in that room, I bet you put a coupon code in there for them to get a percentage off of your product, and it's usually around 25%. On average, women spend 47% on networking because their pricing is busted. 47%, half your money. And the expectation, and I'm not saying stop networking, I'm saying network like a man. I'm going to tell you how men do it, because they do it in a smarter way. Listen, sell like a woman, network like a man. So let me tell you how men do it. The way women do it is they network with the expectation that by the time somebody gives them a referral, they have sold that referral. They've done 50% of the sales for them. So they don't really feel like, and I've been guilty of this, they don't really feel like they have to qualify the person. They don't feel like they have to do all the due diligence. And they feel like since they came from a friend, they got to give them a discount, because now they consider that referral, that network, that introduction, a friend. On the other side, this is how men do it. Men go in and they network and they get introductions, but they simply get those introductions. As far as they're concerned, that is just a lead source. That is not a friend. That is not a buddy. That is not a pal. Nobody sold for them. In fact, they're like, I don't even know what Bob told you. Bob drinks a lot of those networking things. So let me make sure that you know what I'm talking about. So that's number 4. So listen, you got to nail down those first. You got to nail down all 4 of those. Number 1, messaging. If there are too many commas in your expertise, I know you ain't got nothing in your bank account. You really got to nail those down. Number 2, stop selling the process. Don't do it. Stop going in and selling the process, right? Number 3, you got to be qualifying people before you actually make an offer to them. You have to qualify them. And then number 4 is, don't expect your network to sell for you. Stop putting all these pricing. Your pricing is PUFA. You really need to use a profit first method, which is what we use. We use a profit first method to ensure your pricing is on point, right? So your pricing isn't PUFA. And stop trying to price with your competitors. That just makes you a commodity. Anyway, that's what I got. That's the 4. Listen, the academy starts on Thursday at 6:15. I mean, either you want to make more money or you don't. I ain't solving nobody's problem. Either you want to make more money or you don't. That's it. There's really nothing else to it. Let me check real quick. I'm getting ready to get out of this vehicle, but let me check what questions you got. Hey, what's up, Monique? How you doing, sweetheart? What's up, Cynthia? Oh yeah, okay, here's a question. So, how do I know when my pricing is working or not? First of all, most people look at their pricing, and what they do is they go and look at what everybody else is pricing, and then they try to price based on that. No, you want to use a profit first strategy of pricing. You have to determine what your profit margin needs to be, and then from there, then you want to create your pricing strategy. Most people just pull pricing out of their ass, and your pricing should be based on several factors. One is including what is your close ratio when you're closing clients. Listen, if you finally want a way to turn your masterclasses into millions, right? You just want, or shit, you just want to turn it into money, and you want to stop doing them for free and not getting anything out of them, then
and you want to know how to effortlessly enroll more clients, and you want to make sure all this networks and networking and all the stuff you're doing actually pays off, just scan the QR code. Starts on, and we do have financing. So if you need financing, just let us know. But scan the QR code. Thursday, 6:15. Yeah, they'll be recording. But if you give me 90 minutes for the next 6 weeks, I'll change the rest of your business life. For real, for real. I know that was my whole masculine energy of fixing stuff. But if you want to really change your business life, Rihanna, Shonda Rhimes, Barbara Corcoran all basically came to the same conclusion. They had to figure out how to sell in a way that was amazing for them so that they could change the game. What's up, Felicia? You know what? I was literally just thinking about you. I'm gonna share Felicia's story a little bit because she is one of my favorite people. Let me tell you. You want to talk about an action taker? Felicia is an action taker. So, so Felicia, you better write a comment if you do not want me to share. You better write it real fast too, because I'm gonna share I'm gonna share your life, your testimony, everything that you've done because first of all, I'm super proud of you, but you're a total badass and I promise not to embarrass you. All right, thank you. Okay, thank you. You could have said no, by the way. I want y'all to know my clients all know they can say no. So Felicia is absolutely amazing. She comes to Fire Savage, she comes to the Mastermind. She's a total badass, fits right in. Everybody loves her. And she says that she is a divorce recovery specialist. And I just want y'all to know, I did not make a face when she said that she was a divorce recovery specialist. I was very proud of myself in the moment. Right? Right. I was really good. I did not make a face. But when we got on the phone, I'm like, so you're like FEMA for divorces? I'm like, FEMA only comes in when there's trauma and there's terror and like my roof is falling in and you gonna give me money to fix my whole life? And she was like, no, ma'am, that is not what I do. And I'm like, I said, I know people who've done like my mom has volunteered for FEMA. I know people who've done that, and they literally go and they have to listen to everybody's trauma and like all the tears and all the emotion and all that vitriol. And I'm like, is that what you do? And she's like, well, those are the clients I get, but that's not the clients I want. And I'm like, baby, you just put divorce recovery specialist. Divorce is negative. Recovery is recovering from trauma. And specialist mean you specialize in helping people. You FEMA for divorces, honey. And she was just like, no, that is not what I want to do. I was like, okay, okay. So let's go back. Then we're not gonna do that, right? So, hey, what's up? So then I'm like, all right, all right, all right, all right. So let's talk about it, right? Because this is kind of like one of my superpowers. Like you say something, I'm gonna like tell you like this is what I hear. And she was such a good sport because I was like explaining to her what I was hearing, but for Felicia, it was just like, oh my God, that's why I keep getting certain people. And then this language divorce recovery specialist actually pressed her to go into rooms where her ideal client, that's not her ideal client. So then we talked about who she really wanted to work with. And then I said, well, based on what you're telling me, why aren't you just a dating coach? And I know I said just a dating coach, but y'all know what I meant. And she was just like, well, no, no, I'm not. I'm not a dating coach because, and then we walked into why she's not a dating coach. And so she goes, I more get people, women who are empty nesters or near empty nesters, I get them together where they're getting ready to go. So they're not dating yet, but they're ready to get out there. And I'm like, oh, pause. So you're a dating readiness coach. You get people, you're dating readiness coach for divorcees, right? Very specific audience for divorcees who are either empty nesters or near empty nesters. They're basically people like me, right? I'm not dealing with the trauma of divorce. Like that's so far gone. right? But I'm also not like long-term relationship. I need to first learn how to date. And so we had this whole conversation because here's the truth. And I'm specifically going to use black or minority women. Black and minority women generally, or even women that are from lower income brackets, generally are not allowed to date until they're like 17, 18, 19 years, well, 17, 18 years old. And so by the time they get to college, they literally have maybe 1 or 2 years of dating experience. And by the time they get married, hell, they were in a relationship for 4 years and they got married at 25. So they really didn't have dating experience. So now here they are, 40s, 50s, and they're divorced. And now they're expected to date and they don't know how to date. Whereas, quite honestly, you had um white women who started dating when they were 12, 13 years old. And by the time they get to college, they have 7, 8 years of experience. By the time they get married, they got 10, 12 years of experience dating. They know how to date. But you have minority females that have no idea how to date. And so now they're divorced and they're ready to get out there, but they don't know how to do it. And then there's all this seriousness of when you're going out there. It's like, you look at the apps, I'm looking for a long-term relationship. Right? When you go on a first date with someone and you are thinking, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, you start judging everything. Like, why does he chew like that? I don't think I could deal with somebody who chews like that for the rest of my mind. Like, you're nitpicking everything because you're thinking, I have to have this forever. So anyway, so this is this so her goal was definitely not divorce trauma specialist. And it's also not a dating coach. It's that person, that sweet spot right in the middle that says, hey, I am more of a dating readiness coach for women who are, and it's way more fun. I'm going to teach you how to have fun when you go out, how to flirt a little bit, how to enjoy going on dates, how to have a brotation, not to go in so serious like I'm ready to, not going in with I'm going to get married. Completely different mindset, completely different audience, completely different groups, completely different marketing, completely different networking, completely different place to go. So what do? First, we changed her message. Then we changed her process, and her baseline process is the same, but now she's not selling the process; she's selling the results. You can have fun dating before you jump into a relationship. Oh, that is completely different. Now we also have our pre-qualifier. What is our pre-qualifier? Pre-qualifier. Divorcees who are empty nesters or near empty nesters that want to discover the joy and fun associated with dating before jumping into a long-term relationship. Boom. Pre-qualifier. Just like I said, message, don't sell the process, pre-qualifier. And then, of course, and it's none of your business because I'm not going to tell you her business. Then, of course, we looked at pricing. Like, how do we price for this? Because it's a completely different jam, right? This is how, listen, when I say you got to think like a man and sell like a woman, notice how it's very succinct. Boom, boom, boom. Very, get it in and then go sell. What the reason I'm so proud of Felicia is literally we had a VIP day on Saturday. And hell, I think it was on Sunday, maybe Monday, but I think it was on Sunday that she had already put up. She goes, hey, turns out a transition. No, she said, look look what something's coming soon. And then she said, turns out it doesn't take 9 months of transition. You can literally do it in one day. Let me show you my new stuff. It was like that. I was so proud of her. I'm like, yes. And the amount of response that she got from people was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And we're talking about, it hasn't even been a week, right? What's today? Tuesday. Listen, listen, y'all don't keep up with me in days, right? But she did it so quickly. The pivot was beautiful. She changed it just like that. It was like boom, 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 right? So if y'all are wondering what I do, yeah, somebody said that's your visionary work. That is my visionary work. This is what I do, right? I look at what you're currently doing right? Well, yes, I might be the ass kicker. I look at what you're currently doing. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna tell you, like, girl, I hear what you're saying. Listen, I love her, and I know I could tease her on this a bit because we all laughed about it. I'm like, did you say divorce recovery specialist? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, so first Chanel was like, did she say specialist? I'm like, she's like in the hospital. She's like, okay, well, she has worked in hospitals for years, right? And then I said, recovery, like FEMA, like you FEMA for people who had a divorce. And I said it, and she just died laughing because it was just one of those things. So we're gonna keep it real with you, but we're not gonna hurt your feelings. We let you see what you're saying and what you're doing and what it sounds like when it lands on other people's ears, so that way you could hear it for yourself. You could go, oh my god, that's what I'm saying. That's not what I meant to say. And this is what we do for our clients. This is why I love what we do, right? And so I know people are like, I can't believe she would say that. Oh my god, I can't work with her, she's so harsh. I'm not harsh. Harsh is very strong. I'm not harsh. I will help you laugh your way through the bullshit, for real. Like, that's my superpower. I will help you look at your stuff, get on the outside of the jar, read the label, and we can laugh together. Like, girl. And what I love is that she's like, I thought it was great. I'm like, it sounded like it would have sounded great in my mind too if I was in the pickle jar. But when you get out of the pickle jar, she goes, no, outside of the pickle jar, I do not want to be FEMA for divorce. Right? And even when we talked about like the words, the negative words, divorce. But let me tell you, I had somebody hit me up the other day who said that they were I remember the word irrigation and life, but it was like a life irrigation support coach. I still don't know what they do. And it was so funny because I told her, I said, I would actually tell you about the sales academy, but I'm confident you can't afford it. Because you're not making any money as a life irrigation support coach. I still don't know what that is. Like, does she help you? Like, and she told me, like, straight up that she helps wash away some of the, I don't know, feeling. Wait, so I got to see what somebody, I don't even know who wrote this. Now I got to go look. I can't see it, damn it. Feelings do get hurt, but we know it comes from, this is one of my clients. I'm absolutely sure this is one of my clients. It says feelings do get hurt, but we know it comes from a place of, see, this is what happens when I'm on a tiny ass phone. Comes from a place of love and vested interest in our best. Yes, I know. And then we laugh about it. Yes. It doesn't hurt, but we give hug, but I hug. So even though it might hurt your feelings, I hug you. So it's okay. Right. I love it. So this is what they wrote, because I can't see the name, but they said it comes from a place of love, but we know that, yeah, because we actually do care. I'm just reading what y'all wrote. Yes, this is the visionary work I do. It is the work that I love. The thing is, for me, like, I know, so Felicia went and she put that post up, and she got so many people that were like, oh my god, I love that pivot, that is perfect for you, that is what you do, that makes so much more sense, I get that now, yes, okay, right, that's what she needed, right? All of a sudden her ideal clients were talking to her like, oh yes, okay, like literally she's going to teach people, women, that, like, how do you date again? And as somebody who's been there, it's like, how do you date again? How do you not go into every conversation thinking this is going to be a relationship, and then also going, but I'm not a booty call? Like, how do, or maybe, I don't know, I'm not judging your life, maybe you are, you grown, you can be a booty call if you want to, but my point is, or if you're like me, there is this thing of, no, you shouldn't be just dating one person. How do you date two or three people? And then she's like, yeah, but you can, because you're not in relationship status. And I'm like, oh my God, right? So for people like me who definitely fall into that demographic, I'm like, I could see the value of this. And I told her, I said, I would be your ideal client. I would be your ideal client, right? So listen, if you want to have your messaging on point, if you want to be able to craft a badass offer, if you want the type of social media, what I love about this is we actually have, like, we don't tell people, but we have a little social media part in here. If you want your social media to be fire, if you want to stop getting ghosted, if you want to stop having to discount your value, I wasn't going to share this, but now I'm going to share it and then I'm going to go. You need to get into that academy, that crash course that's coming up. And it's literally 90 minutes for 6 weeks and it's going to change your entire business life. All you got to do is scan the QR code. I'm going to share this and I'm going to go. So, why do women have a really hard time in general communicating their value, their dollar amount? Here is why, and we see it all the time. So, men who get jobs, they ask for the amount of money that they feel like they want, and they will negotiate their ass off. Women historically do not negotiate. Men will negotiate for higher dollar amounts. Okay, so let's talk about why they do that, and then I'm gonna tell you how this impacts you as a woman who's an entrepreneur. So men are seen as breadwinners. So historically, men, it can say, I got the wife, I got the kid, I got the house, I got, college funds I got to pay for, healthcare, I got the dog, I got the cat, the cars, right? Like they got, the savings, the vacations. I got to take care of all of this. So I need more money. So I'm going to need you to give me a higher dollar amount. And that's accepted. They're seen as breadwinners. Women, however, historically are not seen as breadwinners. So if you're wondering why you ever feel cringy when you get to the money conversation about sales, I'm telling you exactly why. So women are not seen as breadwinners. So what happens? You go in there and you go, yes, I want to make as much as he does. And they go, why? Nah, we gonna pay you 25% less. And so now you're sitting there going, but I have the spouse and the kids in the house, right? I got the kids, I got the house, I got college funds, I got this, I got that. They're like, well, you need to get a man. You don't need to get money from me. You need to get a man. I know that's archaic. I'm not saying it's not. I'm telling you, it's a societal thing. And here's the thing: women entrepreneurs literally have that seed in the back of their planted in the back of their head. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm telling you that is what it is. And I hate that phrase, by the way. It is what it is. I hate it. But this is one of those where it actually is what it is. So you need to have a framework that makes communicating your value, and I don't mean pushing through, I mean that makes communicating your value and talking about money effortless. That it actually makes it one of those things that you're like, I just did it. I could do, oh my God, that was so easy. That's what we do. Why do we do it? Why do we tell you this framework that we teach in regards to sales? This crash course is built for women by women because we recognize that women talking about money is different from men talking about money. It's just different. So if you really want to be able to crush it in sales, if you want to break through by the way, it's not about crushing it in sales. I want you to break through the damn revenue ceiling that you keep running your head up against. You can't get past $250,000. You can't get past $500,000. You can't get past 7 figures. Every time you get there, you fall back down. I know somebody who consistently hits $500,000, can't get past $500,000. She won't get past $500,000 because she's running into a revenue ceiling and she won't do anything different other than, quote, try harder. No, you need a significant shift. There is a shift that you need not only in your mindset, but your action set. And until you do both, you're going to be stuck hitting that revenue ceiling every single year. It's called a pattern, and you're going to repeat it. If you want to stop repeating the same pattern that's screwing you up year after year after year, hit the QR code. Anyway, that's all I got. My dog is out here looking at me like I am cray cray because he is so ready to go. And he's like, Mom, get me out of the car. He's right here. I will show you. Here he is. Jackson. Hi, buddy. Are you ready to go? Yeah, that's the look of a dog's ready to go. Anyway, y'all have an amazing day. I got to do this before I get on my 12 o'clock. Talk to you later. Bye.